From the Pilbara, which we know damn well it's not our land, but we like to share ourselves with everybody else around here. All Torres Strait Islands and the Australian people, please, thank you very much for accepting us here. My brother Tim Douglas is sitting alone with the wheelchair. We are both the local of the Pilbara area where we're talking about. Is the archipelago, which is now, in the early days, our people handed out all our culture to us. And what the archaeologists were talking about there, like animals and everything that's drawn on the rock, in a spiritual way, that is our Bible. Because the Aboriginal people could not read or write in those days, and our ancestors thought the best thing to do was to put it on rock. And that's why all those rocks out on the Burrup is mainly all culture of our people. Because when we put our young children through their cultural law, we sing for them all night and tell them what everything is about. On the archaeology side, what he had explained to you is it's a European one. It's not the Aboriginal. But the Aboriginal people have got to be very careful how they explain these things because of the other connections to the Aboriginal land as well in their law. In the early years, my father had been with the people on that land, and my grandfather. Timmy's people had been always. Tim and I have two mothers. One is, Tim's mother is a sister to my mother, but we both are cousin brothers. I am unfortunate I couldn't do as much as I could in the early days because of our half-caste children had to be taken away, but we were very lucky. We had a station manager at Burrup Station, which you most probably all read a book about, Leslie and Taylor. Chris Leslie's book says a little about them, but I do know that family very well. Grew up. In those years, the protectors used to come around and take Aboriginal children away and send them away. We were lucky. We had to get told to go into the hills and with kangaroo dogs with our older brothers and sisters and just live off the land for the day and come back late at night where the parents used to meet. We were very lucky one day when the army guys come in, and I remember very clear. His mother told us to get underneath the bed and threw wood bales coatings over the top, and hoping that they wouldn't walk in the house, and just tried to keep them outside. She persevered, and here we are here today. Still haven't been taken away. So all these things are still in my memory, and also my brother Tim, he had to go through the same, but luckily he was on land all the time and learnt his culture very, very strong. Well, I have missed out on quite a lot, but what have I learned? I really appreciate my father and mother done. In the early days, when the station was operating, when there were people living on the land at the Burrup, my father was one of them that rode across there. And he got help from Bill Leslie from Burrup Station, because this is the native station, what they call Shallow Well. And they went across there, they mustered 5,000 sheep and brought in from the station, that area. That's when he met more people that was coming from the island to Karaka, to Shallow Well, and used to dance and sing songs with my father and my grandfather and uncles and aunties. We used to join Tim's grandmother and my grandmother and his brothers and sisters at Woodbrook Station quite a lot in those days. But we had to be very careful because my side of the family had to have exemptions. We were only limited to go and spend time with our Aboriginal mothers and fathers. We had a very hard life. And I sit back and I look at all this, with all this mining issues going on in the Burrup now. Fought hard for it. We're still fighting to try and get it on the World Heritage List. We were lucky with Turnbull, we got it on national list. But we've come across this time, both Tim and I and the others that helping us with the archaeology, to try and persevere the government to get it on a World Heritage listing. But as we all know, what a shamble it is at the moment. With all of the destruction that's going on the Burrup, it's been going on for many years. But we are worried because of Burrup. Up at Burrup, they had won and stopped Woodside from working up in that area. But as the government will turn around and do something else. And we already know that the talks about piping it down to the Burrup, that tell us that they've got enough land there. But we can see in our own eyes there is not enough land there for them. There will be destruction and breaking up more rock art. We don't mind for industrial operations, but go elsewhere and build. Use Onslow. From Cape Preston right up to Headland, there's places that they can use. And why are they persevering on the Burrup, where our rock art is lying, and our Bible, which has been there for many years. I thank you all very much once again for giving me the opportunity and my brother here to speak tonight. Thank you.